All right, I'm Danae Carlos. I am a mentee of Dr. Anthony Marshall, and I will tell you that story in a moment. So Dr. Marshall would like to first start off by thanking God. Without God in his life and at the center of his life, none of this is possible. He'd also like to thank his mom, Mrs. Dorothy Douglas, who's sitting right over there. He'd like to thank Dr. Wembley, Mr. Iota Fisher, Barbara Coleman, who actually helped Dr. Marshall get his start in teaching. He'd like to thank Renako Whitaker. He'd like to also thank the men of power. If he hadn't had a stroke a few years ago, he would probably start marching when I said he would like to thank the Booker T. Washington T Connection Band. He's just one of those people that likes to show off.
Shut up.
He'd also like to thank his students. I know a lot of you probably, your kids have been probably part of Dr. Marshall's courses, some of the African American history courses that he taught at Booker T. I think I've heard before that those courses were some of the favorite of students at that particular time. And he'd also like to thank the Booker T. Washington Distinguished Hall of Fame for this particular honor. When you think about Dr. Marshall's life, you know, his love for Booker T started, of course, with his parents. His mom, dad, sister all went to Booker T. He basically lived around the corner from the school, so he remembers back in the 3rd grade looking out to the Booker T. Washington T Connection Band, and he knew then when he saw the structure and the sound of the T Connection Band that he wanted to be at Booker T. Washington High School. Being in the Hall of Fame, I don't think there's anyone that is more excited to be in the Hall of Fame than Dr. Anthony Marshall. I mean, he has talked to me and Miss Bayouth about this probably just about every day, right, Miss Bayouth? All right. So, you know, I really do have to honor Dr. Marshall because, number one, I don't think I would be where I am today without Dr. Marshall.
Thank you.
Because at the age of 16, Dr. Marshall came into our band practice. I was 16 years old, and he came in there talking about a school called Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Howard University.
Yeah. Oh, he can talk now. All right. But he talked about Howard, and he talked about how amazing of a school it was. And, you know, I was just happy to be at Booker T. Washington, to be honest. And he actually offered up his home to me and 5 other students to visit him in Washington, D.C., to visit Howard University. I have 3 degrees from Howard University thanks to this young man right here. And this story continues on. There are at least 10 to 15 Booker T to Howard University graduates out there right now in the world because of Dr. Anthony Marshall. So with that being said, we honor you, sir. Thank you for all that you do for our young people. Like Tyler said, we need people like you to advocate, to push. Everybody know he's gonna push, but you are the essence of what it means to be an educator. And we thank you for that. Thank you for that love.
Would men of power please stand? Men of power. Thank you.